All right. We are here. We are live. Welcome, family, to another show. Today I have my good travel bro in here with me, Rob of No Excuse Entertainment, and we got a really good topic to talk about. Once again, travel bros, passport bros, black men traveling the world is stirring up some issues in the black media pool. All right. So we're going to talk about it, man. We're going to set the record straight. A lot of people speaking down on, brothers traveling the world for whatever reason. Uh, but we're going to talk about, show a little bit of snippet of the video that Willie D did. I want to give a shout out to my guy Zoom. I think it's called Zoom from Thailand, right? Zoom from Thailand.
Hmm.
This channel has definitely blew up. You're talking about Thailand, and Willie D made a response video to one of his videos. All right, Willie D didn't tag him in the video. I thought I was throwing a little shade because I would think that if you make a commentary on the man's video, you can let the man tell his full story by tagging him so people can go to the video. But instead, Willie D tagged a guy that spoke negatively on
Mm.
our brother. Yeah, he did. He tagged the guy who made a response video negatively on our brother out there, Zoom in Thailand. But anyways, man, how you doing today, brother? How's everything going with you?
I'm good, man. Just enjoying the vacay in Sosua, man. Got the
All right,
Colombian wifey with me.
that's what's up. That's what's
So,
up,
yeah, man.
man, bro.
So,
I gotta warn you. She's using you for a green card, bro.
man, we living in Colombia, man. We vet in DR. To be honest with you, that's why we came here.
Mm-hmm.
No, no, that's where they get it wrong at, man. They get it wrong. They think we want to bring them all to the states, man. That ain't how it go.
Yeah, man. Like I say, shout out to Willie D, man. I actually kind of follow the brother to a certain degree. He got the channel. I don't know if you watch his channel. Um, I listened to a little Ghetto Boys growing up. I mean, he's a talented rapper that my man box and everything, man. He's a good man, bro. I just think that, and he didn't even make negative commentary on the brother per se, but he did tag the negative commentary. So like I said, that was some little shade a little bit. But sometimes, man, and I'm pretty sure he's well traveled. I'm pretty sure he's traveled around the world. And we're gonna show the video in a second. But it's so much disinformation right now about black men traveling the world for whatever reason, whether it's traveling the world for business opportunities, whether it's traveling the world for freedom, whether it's traveling the world for romance, whatever it is. It's a lot of almost like a negative thing to get out the matrix for whatever reason, man. Why do you think that is, man? Why do you think that people just can't respect the lane of each other's lanes? Like if you want to be a pro black and you want to fix the black community, you got my full support. I'm pretty sure you got all of our full support. And we don't talk down on people that want to invest, and continue that in the black community. So why is it shade always throwing over to our side?
I think some people, man, they think they could forecast the end game. It's kind of like they saying to themselves, like, I see the trajectory, these years of traveling, and then at the end of the day, you're gonna end up right back at home. So why even put myself through all that when I'm gonna end up in the same place? You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? A lot of people probably feel like that. And then two, some people just can't do it. Even the ones that maybe got the means to do it, they may not have the time to do it. So you know what I mean? It's always shade when you're not doing what somebody else doing, especially somebody that's not as famous as you doing. Looking like they living a better life than you are. So
Mm-hmm. No, I can definitely agree with that, man. Like I said, if it's almost hard. I know you're well traveling, brother. It's kind of hard to have a conversation with a guy that hasn't traveled like that, right? Like the conversation, we can talk about sports for a little minute. We can talk about what's going on whatever we talk about. But if any questions are concerning like travel, it's like the conversation kind of gets, you know what I'm saying? Because they
exactly.
can't. You feel me? Like how you gonna have a conversation about Brazil if you never really been there? You know
Right.
what I noticed about this whole movement that we have going on is it's a lot of assumptions. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of assumptions about traveling black men, and a lot of those assumptions are just false and untrue. But for whatever reason, these men have decided to make a, there's not a lot of black men with passports though, but it's like some men just decided to go down a different road.
Right.
That's
Right.
it.
Right.
Like we can respect each other's lanes and we can all come together and make a good positive movement for the entire black community. It's good that certain black people, we're traveling the world, we're learning different things, we're worldwide, we're getting our passports. That's a good thing. I don't know how that could be negative, you know. And in concerns of interracial dating, you can feel how you can feel about it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, people are going to date interracially. They've been doing that since the beginning of time. It's going to happen. But to critique that person's relationship and just say that, oh, they're just using that man for a green card, I don't think it's going to work. It's like, dude, why are you so concerned about what this man is doing? You focus on what you're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. It's not just Willie D, it's others too. You know what I mean? Even
Mm-hmm.
these quote unquote dating coaches or the new people coming on board, like the lead, KS to a certain extent. I mean, they may understand the international travel, but by them having a larger voice right now, you know what I mean? A lot of us still are kind of looked down on, like, you know what I mean? Like, who are these dudes that's talking about traveling like it's so big? But once we passport bros get just the bigger voice as like the people that's focusing on the matrix, like Kevin Samuels or the lead and others, AMS, once a passport bro get to that level, then we can really create the narrative that's true. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
them people are pushing the narratives which are false, like you said. So we got to get to a point where we're pushing the narrative, um, even further because we represent a large portion of the manosphere. You know what I mean? We just don't have. We're just our voice isn't there yet, but it's growing.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Our sector is getting bigger and bigger, and that's why I love when I see us, creating more channels, creating content, new content creators like new YouTubers. I try to put them on, as soon as possible. Hey, bro, you in Thailand? Hey, bro, you in Tanzania? Let's do an interview. Let's get your channel up there because I want to spread, I want to spread the content, let brothers know what's really going on overseas. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I want to make this read this comment by I think that's I think it's fourth male. I think it's his fourth male. He says a lot of these women don't want to leave their country. Plain and simple. I
True.
think the American stigma. I mean, America has a really good propaganda machine. You know what I'm saying? About making the streets paved with gold. You're going to become rich. You can become a millionaire here, and there's definitely some truth to that. But at the same time, man, I've talked to, Brazilians and Colombians that have lived over in America and they all wanted to come back and they all went back to their countries because they all say that it's just too much focused on the money. It's not family oriented. You got to work too much. What's the point of working so hard if you can't even enjoy your loved ones?
Right.
And they moved back to Colombia. They moved back to Brazil. One thing that I thought that was hilarious to me that I did not know was, and I heard this from two separate Brazilians. There was like America's two races. These were white Brazilians saying this to me. They was like, nah,
Wow.
man, America's two races. We don't, nah, man. And don't get me wrong, it's definitely some racism here in Brazil. I just went on a slave tour. I'm gonna be uploading that video probably this week. But they were just saying, nah, man, the police, they mess around with the citizens too much. They find out you're Brazilian, they want to search you, and it's just a lot. Let me catch these super chats real quick. Shout out to East Coast Kev with the $5 super chat. Is that my dude, Kev? I love for brothers to travel. The planet belongs to us. That's true, man. That's 100. Man, tomorrow in the building. MOT in the building. No problem. Trying to be more due discipline can't outwork a successful man. That's very true. That is very true, man. So I'm gonna play this video. I'm just gonna play a snippet, guys, of what Willie D said. Give me 1 second. Let me remove this. All right. And let's play this video. Here we go. Fair use, family. Fair use.
She prepares my dinner. She lets me cooks me breakfast every morning. She prepares my dinner. She lets me get my work done. She inspires me. Damn, sound like a perfect woman. Well, at least that's what this black guy described who went to Thailand to find himself a woman.
A woman.
Who got a problem? Everybody got a problem with that?
What do
y'all think? Good luck, bad luck. Here's what I think. I don't have to sleep with her. I don't have to smell her morning breath. I don't have to worry about her balancing the checkbook. I don't have to be around her friends, her family. I really don't care who people decide that they want to be in intimate relationships with.
Okay.
I got my own problems. It's very difficult to pair, very difficult to find companionship, somebody that works for you, right? And I just believe that let people do what works for them. On a personal note, I don't think this is going to work out long term.
So now he said all that, he said all that now. He said it's very difficult. He said, I don't care, what other people do. And then, like I said, this is the problem with pandering to both audiences. It's getting more and more difficult to pander to male and female in most cases, because what these guys generally do is, they'll make their videos, but they always try to throw a little shade on the man to make the other part of the audience feel a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was no point in coming with the negativity after you just said what you just said. You just said
Right.
that, hey, I don't care. Oh, she cooks, she cleans. Oh, this, that, and the other. And you just said it's very difficult for men, especially men, we all know men, a little older, and women, to find companionship. So if that's the case, wouldn't you want to expand your dating market? If you're saying it's difficult to find true companionship in 2021, wouldn't it be an intelligent move to expand your net, to cast a wide net as big as possible so you have more options to choose from? Just saying. Let me click on the video. Okay,
Yeah.
I do believe that this is going to come to an abrupt end as soon as those American women get in her ear. It's a wrap. He better keep her in the house, lock all the way up, because the moment she come out, and it's over. Now, one thing he got going for himself is that she don't have to work. So at least she's not out in the workplace, because you go out into corporate America and it's a whole different ball game. I got a buddy.
Hold on, let me stop that. So we ain't got to go into story time or anything like that. But why is he under the assumption that we want to bring them back to the States? What American friends is she going to have?
Man, they watching too much 90 Day Fiance, man.
Man, I'm telling you, boy, that 90 Day Fiance is they love that little show right there.
They think. I think I was in a debate with somebody, and she was about traveling, and she was just basically saying men getting mail order brides. It's like that term is so old.
You ain't talking about Mo, are you?
No. No, man. But it's just like, to even use the term mail order bride, like that term is old. Like, we got so many forms of social media to meet people. Like, people don't go through agencies to have, to hook them up with Russian wives or something like that. So
yeah, most black men we don't be doing that.
No, we're gonna be doing that. And I mean, I don't know what percentage of black men is on 90 Day Fiance? Because I'm trying to figure out.
I mean, you know what? It seems like they try to have, I come from that background of, of video production. So the way the producers are going to cast is they're going to try to find a white male, a black male, you know what I'm saying? A white woman, a black woman. They always going to try to find, because you can reach different audiences. So even if it's not a lot of black men doing that on the show, it's going to look like that because you want to be able to cater to, a large spectrum to get the viewership. So they'll try to find, the producers a work day and night to try to find a black man that's, would be willing to go on the show. And keep in mind, all these shows are scripted.
Right.
You cannot do a show without some form of structure or script, or otherwise you're going to have some cameras there. Because but I worked on reality shows before. You're just going to have a bunch of cameras there. You're going to be like, what do we do now? You know what I'm saying? Because there's so much going on in production. So what they do is they'll draw up like some type of soft storyline, and they'll tell the sometimes actors, even, believe it or not, but they'll tell the characters or whatnot, hey, say this, or let's do this like this. Say you don't want to marry him, just to spice it up. And that's what happens. And people take that and they actually believe that. As a matter of fact, I think the guy was named Caesar. He was an actor, bro. By trade, he was a legitimate actor that you probably never heard of, but he was an actor, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's a good show. Now, I know some of the storylines are real. They're gonna definitely mix it in. You got the Africans, marrying the older white women. I think that's has some truth to it, stuff like that. But for the most part, man, they'll stretch it out. They're gonna make it interesting for the viewership every day, all day.
They had the black guy. It was with a Russian chick he never met, but he was just sending her money. He was breaking it to.
Yeah, that's Caesar. Yeah, that's the actor. That was the actor. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Like, who even knows if that was real, or are they getting stories in and casting the characters to play those stories? Because they could have been a white guy. They just casted a black guy in it, like I said, to reach a large spectrum. That's what they do. You got to do it that way.
Yeah, that's where the natural, I think, assumption is to bring them, to want to bring them back. But they don't understand that this man, Zoom in Thailand, he's able to live there. He's able to be there for long periods of time. And I don't know if he lives there or has some type of retirement visa, but people don't know those scenarios. They don't know the scenarios of being retired from the military and being able to live abroad. They don't know people that, work from their computers, got an IT background, and and can live overseas. They don't know that
they don't understand about the different visas that you can have.
Right.
You know what I'm
but
saying?
as some brothers get married, and then they, you can live in their country. You get married, you can live in their country. So they don't understand and see that, and I think they don't want to hear that reality, because it's like, man, now it put pressure on the people that got the means. Like, man, if I want something like that, I could just live in another country. But they don't really want to know that reality, because now it put pressure on them, to start thinking about making moves,
Exactly, man. Exactly.
It's the same thing like, and I don't want to get off course, but it's the same thing about visiting Africa for a lot of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like some don't want to really know it could be something they really like, because then now it puts pressure on you to approach travel differently, and to think differently,
Mm-hmm. That is so true, bro. That is so true, because if it wasn't for me, like, traveling to Colombia, I would have thought that the DR was like the all be all. It cannot get any better than the Dominican Republic, right? But you go to Colombia, you're like, oh wow, I'm really enjoying Colombia, maybe even more so than I did the DR. You go from Colombia to Brazil. Oh wow, I'm definitely going to, I'm enjoying Brazil. Like you say, you go to South Africa, you like, whoa, and you're right. Some people don't want to hear that reality, because it's going to make them be like, Wow. I got to go here. Let me catch a super
Right.
chat real quick from OCGM with the $5 super chat. I really appreciate that. He says, working on country number 16 in 2022, thinking about Prague. Much love from New York. Shout out to New York. Keep it going. I spread the channel to the other bros as well. Shout out to OCGM with the $5 super chat. I really appreciate that, man. Why do you think it's an assumption that men are going overseas, meeting these mail order brides or whatnot, and then trying to fight them back in the States to put them in the house to be housewives? Why is that the assumption?
I think it's an assumption, man, because
Because people
either
don't think
one
we can live overseas, right? They don't understand that you can actually live overseas.
or we want to, like as we want to come back. They don't a lot of times they don't see travelers as having means. They may see us taking a trip, you know. I think it was I don't know if it was a video, but somebody talked about, I think Kevin Samuels talked about, you making $60,000 a year, you can't really do much with that if you're trying to travel overseas. And those brothers like, I make $60,000 a year, and I could be out the country more than more than 45 days out the year. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and so it's a lot of ways you could do things. So I think it's just people try to count your pockets and assume that you got to bring a chick here. That's a lot what it is, counting pockets, because they see what they consider the high value men. They think all the men making six figures not travel.
Mm-hmm.
As if six figures got to look.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
We
man.
got truck drivers making six figures.
Yeah, most definitely. I know truck drivers that they down here in Brazil. They go there and hit that road for 3-4 months, and they right back for another month out here. Like it's a lot of ways, man, and you have a lot of different visas you can have. You can do student visas. You can spend long periods of time overseas, man. Legally, really, if you just set it up right and you have, get the right lawyer, the right information. But the biggest thing is, have you ever like dated a woman that you assume might have been dating you specifically to get back to America?
No, I mean,
I don't
I've
think I have.
I've met some, but you learn that through conversations, like what your ambitions. Like a woman that wants to come to the U.S. is going to tell you in one form or another, where she's going to say, if you ask her, if we got married, where would you
Mm-hmm.
prefer to live?
Right.
If she say, well, I'm open to living in your country or my country. If she's open to living in your country, then 9 times out of 10, she might have some ambition. But some women say, I don't I don't want to live here. Why would you even want to live here? I got into arguments with women about me wanting to live in their country, and they was just like, why? You know what I mean? And I'm just like, because I'm a man. So I'm from a man's perspective, it's better for me. From a woman perspective, it's better for you. But in those conversations, a woman she's gonna let you know. You know what I mean? She's gonna say, if you ask her what she wants to do in her life, what I mean, it's gonna come out. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it'll be a surprise.
Yeah, I had like one incident in the last time I was actually in Dominican Republic, with a Dominican woman. She was tall too, man. Like I'm not. I usually go for women that's kind of short or a little petite, but she was actually like probably close to my height, and she was just like, I really want to go to America. Basically trying to make a deal with me, right? Marry her, and she get to America, right? So I was just messing around with her. I was just like, okay, give me $3,000. She's like, $3,000. I'm like, what you think? You think I'm about to marry you for, you know what I'm saying, for $400? Like, nah. I was just messing with her though. But yeah, that's the only time I really experienced that. Was down the DR. Got another super chat down here somewhere. All right. Shout out to Eric Powell, the $5 super chat. He says, no one in their right mind would validate Willie D's opinion. No, you're right, man. It was a couple other YouTube cats that made videos as well. Once again with false assumptions, saying the guy don't got no game and all this stuff. And I'm like, I had sent you a message, bro. I was like, man, what is this game culture that black men have? To where like, you almost like a peon if you can't spit some game to a woman. What's up with that?
Man, I think it's just I think a lot of the game culture started with, in my opinion, from men that wasn't really pulling women. Like I said, like I told you, like let's say in high school, for example, like I know some people that maybe they wasn't considered as attractive in high school or middle school. They used to get joked on a lot. And over years, like I got, one person I know, he used to get joked on a lot, but he became funnier because he learned how to clap back, and then he also developed his mouthpiece because, I mean, he may have felt like he was lacking physically, so he enhanced his mouthpiece, worked on getting more money. So a lot of dudes feel like they game, they need game, or they had to obtain game to get women, and if you don't got it, what I mean, they make it seem like it's something, what I mean, like you less than, but that's just come from their insecurities of what they experienced, growing up. You
Yeah,
know,
man. Most definitely. I think overseas, for the most part, and I'm sure it varies from different country to country. You definitely got to court the women. Colombia, Brazil. You got to get to know them. All the things that you would do with any woman. But I don't think it's just so much emphasis on game like that. I think they just like men. Like,
they use game. Yeah, I never heard a foreign dude using game or going whispering in a girl ear talking about, I want to fly you to my like homies in the US are like, I'll fly you to Vegas, you know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? You got a man like, I'd be 10 times better than that man, you know what I mean? Like we could do this. Like it's so many stuff I done heard guys say whispering girls' ear and they call it game, but it's really simple because you leading with, you know what I mean? You're saying all these things you can do or going to do to get her number and attention. But when you go overseas, it's just like, hey, how you doing? Are you single? Yes, no. Can I get your number?
it's it.
Cool. We're gonna set up a date and meet. That's it.
That's it, bro. That is it. And if you go out, the beautiful thing about going out overseas, they're not going out. You would think it would be that they were going out to get a free meal, right? Like in the States, it's not like that at all. Because if she
Right.
goes out with you, she's really genuine and trying to get to know you.
Even marriage proposals, man. I thought about this one day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Only in the United States you see. I seen a marriage proposal, man. This guy proposed to a girl in front of like a student body.
I see
I
that.
done seen guys
I see
sing.
that.
I done seen guys pull out the red carpet. We see all these extravagant proposals. I bet dudes in other countries be like, why you got to do all that to ask a person to
And,
marry
and
you?
then and then the girls be saying no on camera sometimes. That would never happen overseas, bro. If you can tell, I'm gonna tell any woman over there. Matter of fact, my Guatemalan homeboy, shout out to my dude Irvin, he gave me
Mhm.
some game on that. He was just like, bro, you ain't gotta do all that, man. Just tell him you'll take care of him. Boom, done. You good. That's it. There's no more past that. Tell him, hey, I take care of you. I take care of the major bills. Boom, got it, done. It's a wrap. Just like that.
Yeah, man.
Just like that.
It's
Man.
crazy, man.
Yeah, man. Like dating overseas is something. And once again, me and you have probably kept it realer than any other travel YouTubers about dating, right? We keep it a buck. We tell you it's just not a pull-up thing, and you're just gonna get all the women without knowing the language. We keep it a buck 50 when it comes to actual dating by giving guys, hey man, you're gonna have to do this, you're gonna have to do that. Colombian women like guys that dress nice, smell good, know a little bit of the language, you're going to meet the family. We keep it a buck 50. You still got to put some work in now. These women ain't just, I think they have a vision of we're going overseas to date women in shacks and stuff like that and try to, you know what I'm saying? Like we're going to pull up to the favela and be like, yeah, baby, boom, boom, pay all your bills and that's going to be it. It doesn't work like that. I tell you.
No, it doesn't work like that. I mean, we put ourselves in positions where the economics works out the same way it does for a wealthy man in the U.S. to an average woman. You know,
Say that one more time, bro. You just dropped a little game. Say it one more time.
man, we we're putting ourselves in the same economics as wealthy men in the U.S. to average woman in the U.S. You know what I mean? We're just putting ourselves in an environment where we're simulating that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so when a woman or somebody say, well, you doing that because you can't do it in the US. Well, of course, I'm not a millionaire, you know.
Right. But
But you
hey, but you know, it is just that simple. It's like, yeah, I'm not rich, so yeah, exactly.
right. What's the
Did you
problem? I
did,
put
did you see Kevin Samuels' last stream about the group of girls that wanted like their boyfriends had to be worth $1 million at least?
who? Where?
It was on Kevin Samuels' channel, I
Oh
think
yeah,
last night,
yeah, I seen that. I seen that, yeah.
and
Yeah.
everybody was making comments in the group like, man, they were just going off.
They, and I mean and that's cool. You know what I mean? But we wouldn't even date women like that overseas though.
Mm-hmm.
We know the gold diggers. You know what I mean? We know women that think like that. You know,
Mm-hmm. And there's
most of
gold
those
diggers in every society, every culture.
yes.
You
Yes.
know,
I think even like even those Thai women, like it's the women, it's a lot of women, their goal is still to be married.
yeah.
You know, whether it's by a local man or a foreign man, their goal is to be married. So
But
um
like, but before 25,
yeah,
you
you
know,
know,
before
so
25,
a millionaire in the US gotta deal with women, they gotta deal with the BS. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
So we millionaires in another country,
We
we don't
pacing
gotta deal
theirs.
with the BS, you know,
We pacing theirs.
real.
Shout out
And
to
you
my
know what?
shout out to
You
pacing
could
that
tell
game, and they gonna call me like, "Hey man, use our name." Shout out to pacing theirs.
shout out to the Pacers, man. I know my homies, man. But you what I was gonna say, we could pull a better chick than Willie D.
Bro, say
I
that one
could
more
put
time. Say that one
I
more
could
time. They don't hear you. They don't hear you.
hey Willie
They don't
D.
hear you, bro.
Willie D. I could pull a better chick than you can. A lot of Passport brothers can. That love us for who we are. You know,
Facts.
a lot of guys done pull chicks tighter than a lot of these rappers.
Facts. When I be seeing these little I guess her name Salty and whatever these girls' names, these Instagram models' names, I just be sitting here like, all right, bro, I mean, that's what y'all like with the fake jewelry on, or what I'm saying, the weaves and the long nails and the tattoos and the fake booties and everything. I'd be like, yo, if that's what y'all want, and then get like 10 different celebrity dudes. So Michael B. Jordan, all the rappers, all the NBA players, she'll go through that circle and be dating all these guys, and these guys will actually be dating this woman that's been through the ringer, wife them up, divorce. Quavo will be dating her for a couple of months. Then Rocco will be dating her in a couple of months. Especially in Atlanta, they move like that in Atlanta, man. And we just be sitting here like, man, we got 4 or 5 of those, but okay.
Right. And I gotta say something about even bringing women to the U.S. Right. I know a lot of us say don't bring them to the U.S. You know what I mean? That's pretty much our mantra for us passport
Mm-hmm.
bros in the manosphere.
Mm-hmm.
But in actuality, though, if I brought a woman to the U.S. right,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean, I'm not faking my life with her out the country. So when she see me, how she see me living in her country, she's gonna see me living the same way in the U.S. So I'm not worried about another man or woman being in her ear. Second, if my girl become Americanized, now she just put herself in competition with other American girls because I'm gonna look at her like, look, if you want to be like them, then I might as well mess with another
American.
one in the U.S. better than you. I mean, it's still fine chicks in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
So you are going to. I'm still looking at it as a win-win. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
As long as my certain assets are protected. So like I said, most guys are bringing to the U.S. average a little slightly above average women to the U.S. Right?
All day.
So we're not bringing women to the U.S. that's the baddest chick in the country. Because yeah, that'll be called a problem. We're bringing women that are attractive to us, but they they still have to compete with other American women. That's fine. So as long, you know what I mean, if your woman not super bad, I don't see the need to even worry about it. To be honest with you, you know what I
Right.
mean. You
Now
know,
you
so
no, that's facts, man. Because I do know some guys that have relationships with women that took them back to the States, and they're doing just fine. It's different levels to it. If you get a a 22-year-old, 23 year old fast girl from the DR or something, or one of these other countries, yeah, she might dip out as soon as she touch ground all day. But if you get a woman that's 35 plus, 34, 33, younger, or over 25, basically, that's a little bit more mature, and she's really like riding for you like that, you kind of can tell too. Then she ain't gonna go nowhere, bro. When you take her down to America, she gonna go nowhere. You know,
no,
It-
she's not.
you know,
They see the competition here. Like, let's say you go to Saussure, let's say Saussure, right?
mhm,
And let's say it's a good weekend, like Super Bowl weekend or Halloween, where there's a lot of brothers, with money, a lot of brothers that carry themselves well, things like that. If a woman is used to seeing all those options and still choose you, when she go to the US, she gonna see the same type of men. So it's not like,
mhm,
you know what I mean, she gonna go to the US and just see, you know, just, you know, just find men that just don't travel. Like all black men travel, you know what I mean, from very wealthy to not wealthy to very attractive to mildly attractive. So it's not like they're not going to see nothing that they didn't see because we come here frequently. Before it was different. You got these men, these, let's say, these white men that probably don't make a lot of money, and then they bring in these women to the US, and now they seeing Brad Pitt and Mel Gibson type men. Yeah, they're gonna switch up. You know
right.
what I mean?
Mhm.
But I mean, a lot of us are a lot of us are desirable men anyway. We just don't. We just may not be in a wealth class that most black women won't. But as far as looks and how we carry ourselves, you know what I mean. We still top notch.
Most definitely, man. Most definitely. Shout out to Man Tomorrow once again, MOT with a $10 super chat. Man, I really appreciate that. He said it is wise to open dialogue with these dudes, talk on a stream together rather than let them run up the score on sided. I can agree with that. I can definitely agree with that. Good point. Shout out to Harambe with the $5 super chat. So much hate in the comments on the Willie D video, not just the women. A lot of men were hating hard. That's expected. That is expected. I know most of those men do not travel. Shout out to my dude does know music. What's going on, brother? He says with the $5 super chat. He says countries that don't have PUA coaches have healthy dating cultures. Bro, that's a
Facts.
very good point. And you know what, man? I always tell this story about a particular dating coach. I call him like he's short and tall at the same time. Particular dating coach. I ran into him in Medellin, Colombia. I believe he might live there. I'm not sure. Which is another strange thing. If you a PUA coach, I would think you would be in America dating American women. But that's another story because you definitely don't need any PUA game in overseas, especially in Colombia. But I was watching him, how he was moving around the park and everything, and he was going up to different women. He was dressed to impress with this, suit, and you really don't need a suit in the park. We all know you kind of dress down, you dress regular, but he's going up on video asking these women, exactly like, what do you think about me as far as looks? He doing this, he posing and everything, showing his muscles and everything. Like I said, he had these heels on his shoes, man, that made him like really tall, but he
Mhm.
has short stature, so he looked strange. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like heels on or something. But anyways, so he's going up to these women, and the Colombian women was like, "Oh, we don't like all that. Like, it's just." One woman told him, I believe, she was like, "What type of man do you like?" And he had a translator with him, speaking in Spanish. He's like, "What type of man do you like?" And the Colombian woman was like, "A man that can build a fence."
Mm.
You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
Like so traditional, like a man that can fix a car. You know, we don't need all the baby oil on the chest overseas. You ain't got to peacock so hard. They just want a traditional man 9 times out of 10. Now, let me preface that always. You got to take your time. You got to date. Yeah, you do got gold diggers. You got very hypergamous women all over the world. That's in every culture. That's
Right.
somewhat, raw female nature. Just like we want to see with a whole bunch of beautiful women. they want to date a whole bunch of rich guys. It is what it is. You don't just get around that. But it's some good women. It's some good women in the States. You know what I'm saying? All we're just trying to say is respect each other's lanes. If you decide to date in the States, bro, we're not going to make, you will never see us making any diss videos of black men dating in America.
Exactly.
Man, you stupid for dating in America, dog. You dating them booger wolf ass women, man, them crazy women, man. You stupid for that. No, bro, if you decide to do that, man, some good women over there, do your thing. If you want to be a stepfather, do your thing, bro. You know, that's, you a man. You make your own decisions.
Right.
But respect our lane as well. Because
right.
It's going to be a lot of men coming into our lane. I'm telling you.
Or at least try to understand it instead of, disrespecting it. Like get some of us, ask us questions. You know what I mean? We got so much. We got travelers that's better than that's travel harder than Anthony Bourdain. You know what I mean?
Facts.
We got people that done seen women, like, I know celebrities that go to Colombia and they may get hooked up with like women and stuff when they travel. I know guys that probably ran through all the women that they probably done had or introduced to. So it's just so much levels, man. So much knowledge in the passport bro community, man, that it's a shame that a lot of people are still ignorant to what's going on, but we gonna get it out there, man.
Yeah, most definitely, because believe it or not, guys, it's more to it than just the women. There's so much more to it than just the women. Women are definitely the icing on the cake. We all like the icing, but it's definitely a lot of opportunities and there's a lot of freedoms overseas. And when you get accustomed to living a certain way, it's very difficult to go back, man. It's very difficult.
Right.
When you're living in a patriarchy, man, I'm telling you, boy, it's just so natural. It's just so natural to be just a hard-working man and just have a woman just to be there as your support system. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's more natural to most masculine heterosexual males when it comes to living, in different countries overseas. Shout out to Eric Powell, the $5 super chat. He says, throughout history, most great men left their surroundings to spread their seed and acquire resources. There we go. You're doing what comes naturally. SYSBM. Eric Powell, I could not agree with you more. And the traveling, man, it develops you and shapes you in such a way, man. This be a well-cultured man that even if you don't speak these languages fluently or you're learning, the fact that you know any Portuguese or any Spanish or any Swahili is just extremely impressive, especially the women. Especially the women. Let me ask you this, man. Have you ever you ever been in the Matrix, right? And you went on a date and the conversation comes up and she might ask you, hey, what countries you like? You know what I'm saying? What's the reaction of women when you tell them that you're pretty much a world traveler?
I would say the reaction, they kind of, the mood, you can kind of feel the mood change a little bit. It's like, okay. It's like, okay. And then, like, obviously you want to talk more and more about it, but it's just like they don't really interested in going into the details and things like that. They don't want to possibly hear something that they didn't really want to hear, so
Facts. Facts.
Yeah, usually those type of women, man, I think I just never got to the next date or next conversation after talking about travel.
All day long, man. I remember when I took this this really pretty girl, man. She was bomb. Natural afro. And the conversation come up, and I was trying to avoid this conversation, man. And looking back on it, I probably should have, not told the whole truth. But it's hard not to tell the truth because she was telling me about her travels, her being in Grenada, in the Caribbean, in Jamaica. We all know how that goes in Jamaica. And I was like, okay, I'm eating, I'm like, okay, cool. You've been to a few places. And she's like, so you travel? Have you been overseas? And I'm like, yeah, I've been a few places. Yeah, I'm still eating. And she's like, okay, where have you been? And I'm like, just a few countries outside. Yeah, where you been at? DR, Jamaica, Brazil, Colombia, Yo, this girl got stuck up on Brazil. She let me slide with DR. because of Punta Cana, right? They think like DR or something. They don't really know about the North Coast like that.
Right.
Jamaica, that's a given. She let me, she wasn't tripping about Jamaica. But when I told her Brazil, the whole conversation went to Brazil. I'm telling you, this woman's like a 8.5, 9. But she could not get over the fact that she was like, yeah, I'm just not like we'll start, the conversation will move on, right? We'll be talking about something totally different. 10, 15 minutes later, she'll just get quiet and she'll say, yeah, Aaron, I'm just not understanding why'd you go to Brazil? Like, I just don't understand. Like, why would you go to Brazil? I'm just in here like, Brazil's a beautiful country. Afro culture. It's the most. It has the most black people in Brazil. Than America. Meaning, just saying giving her all the facts. A lot of African slaves went there. It's a big country. It's beautiful. People wear their natural hair, like you wear your natural hair. But she could not get over it. She just could not get over it. And I told her. I even invited her down here. I was like, yo, you want to come out here to Brazil? She was like, nah, I'm good, Aaron. If you want to go to Destin, Florida or something, we can do that. I'm like, Destin, Florida. They know what, I don't know if you've been peeping these end of the year reviews of people traveling, like a lot of, women and men traveling. They list all the countries they travel to. And it's so different, right? When you see the sisters, they'll have Italy, Jamaica, you know what I'm saying? Spain, Paris. And then the brothers will have Dominican Republic, Brazil, Mexico, Colombia. So we just not, we just move in different
we
lanes.
move different. We move different.
We move different lanes.
Do you think that women have had more men use them for green cards than men?
Hell yes, but you would never hear about it like that. It's been a lot of Terry McMillan waiting to exhale stories all day in Jamaica. As a matter of fact, my ex-girlfriend called me, right? And I got a bunch of ex-girlfriends, but from the States, and she was like, yeah, Aaron, because I was asking, I was like, I thought you was engaged, you was getting married to some Jamaican guy. She was just like, yeah, that didn't work out. I bought him a car, and every time I came there, I found out he was using me, and I'm like, yeah, baby, that happens. They call y'all Sanky Panky. And she's like, what? What's a Sanky Panky? I'm like, that's what Sanky Panky mean. You getting finesse for the cheese.
I got a story, man. I got a real story, man. Y'all gonna be shocked by this, man. So I used to work for the city. I work with this chick, right? Mm-hmm. And her husband is Jamaican. And so I mean, she was cool. My homegirl, she was like, I'm gonna tell you how we met. So she was like, me and my family, my sisters, cousins, we went to Jamaica, and we went to this club, and she was like, I had sex in the club, and I was just like, okay, because she was telling me how she got pregnant. She was like, she's like, man, I had sex in the club, and then I came back to the U.S., found out I was pregnant. So in my head, I'm just like, I know women get down behind closed doors, but what I mean? Us traveling now I'm putting two and two together, because she was like, sex in the club. I'm like, how can you have sex in the club? Like, y'all went in the bathroom and had sex or something? And like, I didn't really even think black women would get that comfortable like that, especially if you with your girls, because they're gonna be like, where you going? What you about to do? So, what I mean? So now I'm thinking, like, was it a sex club? was it a strip club? You know what I mean? Because it's like, how you have sex and get pregnant? So she ended up, I guess, her being pregnant, she ended up getting him to come to the U.S.
And where was this
like
at?
that. Jamaica.
Okay, because I got a similar story like this in Colombia. Like almost the exact same story, bro. Except she didn't get pregnant.
Yeah, she got pregnant, moved a dude there. And so I know she ain't the first or last girl that I had sex with a man in a club. I don't know what type of club it was, but what I mean, it put reality on a lot of stuff we don't know that goes on,
Oh,
and I just thought that was wild.
I have
Like
a
you let a
very
dude go raw. You went out another
bro,
country and let a dude go raw and get pregnant. You got pregnant. You got impregnated in Jamaica.
bro.
That's crazy.
I got a very similar story down there in Colombia. It's a group of African American women. Shout out to them. A couple of them are definitely my homegirls. I talk to them all the time. They might get mad because they definitely watch the channel. They be talking stuff about my channel, but it's all good. They still my homegirls though. But this is like when we first, as a matter of fact, these two particular girls that was in it was like a little after party that we was doing in a really nice hotel. I don't know if you ever been there. I believe it's called the Paris or something like that, but it's set up like it has a lot of Paris, decoration and everything. So the downstairs is like the most lavish setup you'll ever see, marble, everything. It's real nice.
Mhm.
So we throw this little after party, and these chicks show up. And keep in mind, it's like 8 of them, but only a couple of them show up. Shout out to my the DJ Jay Brown, and they was getting loose, man. They was getting loose, and I saw one dude, trying to get one of them a drink, and I told her homegirl, I'm like, yo, in Colombia, you don't want to take drinks from just anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like to be drugging. Yo, the girl just gave me the fade. She was just like, she got kind of did me like not, she kind of just faded me. Her homegirl was like, yeah, that's true. Because I told her homegirl first. I'm like, yo, this is Colombia. You just can't accept drinks out here. My homeboy was like, man, I don't even know why you trying to talk to him, bro. I'm like, nah, man, we still American. So lo and behold, Venezuelan dude grabs her up, takes her to one of the rooms. You know what I'm saying? I think it was like a bathroom or something. Lays her down, smashes her. Her homegirl hitting me up. I don't want to hate, but should I knock on the door? Like, I just don't know what's going on. I'm like, yo, your girl in there is getting smashed by one of the. You know what I'm saying? She was like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. She just left me hanging out here. I don't know anybody here. I'm like, knock on the door. You know what I'm saying? Homegirl come out fixing her little hair and everything. I'm just like, yo, y'all wilding out here, man. Wilding. You know what I'm saying? Like crazy. Let me catch a super chat real quick, man. Shout out to Mr. GG's Zero Money Down Real Estate Structures. He says, BMT, that's my favorite story. The chick from North America that was stuck on Brazil. Each time you try to switch the topic on here, great topic. Yeah, that's definitely true. I don't know. I think Brazil is a trigger word for a lot of women, bro. The first thing they always say, even Mo mentioned it in our last show we did with Mo. She was like, yeah, Brazil. First thing she said was Brazil. Like they all know about Brazil somehow. And, Brazil is wild. I'm not gonna lie. Colombia, it's wild too. Shout out to Xavier in the chat. He says, correction, over 50% of Brazilians identify as black, over 80 million people. Oh, he's talking about somebody. He's responding to somebody in the chat. Let me catch another one. Bro, the stories I've heard about black women in Jamaica, LOL. Shout out to Grego712. Nah, they get loose outside the country with tour guides and people from those resorts. Shout out to Grego, man. Shout out to Grego. But yeah, man, like I say, guys, I mean, you're talking to two guys that, I live overseas. Rob is overseas right now. It's just not what you think it is, bro. Like the whole 90-day fiance thing, the whole women trying to finesse you for green cards. Like are they gonna leave you? All that they just using you because you got some money, you got that American dollar. Listen, man, South America definitely has like a romantic culture. But go ahead, what you gonna say?
No, the difference is we can live out the country.
Mm-hmm.
It's to our benefit to live out the country. It's not to a woman's benefit to live out the country. So everything American woman thinks about, the American woman is so selfish and so narcissistic.
Mm-hmm.
Every viewpoint she has is from a woman's viewpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're using for your green card. Oh, they only want you for your money. No, we can live in another country. A woman won't live. A woman will not leave where she has the most success and power. A woman going to Africa or the Caribbean, right? One, she got to date a man that's making less money than her. That's not to her advantage. Two, she has to live in a less matriarch society, which is not to her advantage. So her living out the country for the most part is not appealing at all.
Mm-hmm.
For us, it's different. We go from a matriarch society to a patriarch society. We're not looking for a woman to make what we're making. We're okay with being a provider.
Mm-hmm.
And then also racism. We may escape a form of racism that don't exist in those countries. So everything is a plus for us and an incentive for us to live in another country. For them, it's an L. It's an L for them to live out the country for the most part,
Of
unless they're
course.
willing to date a man with no money, which contradicts them dating us because they feel like a lot of us don't have the money. So what I mean, it's totally different.
Totally different, man. Totally different. And I would say that all the dating is almost way more difficult for them versus us because these men out here don't play. They have a certain standard. They have a certain standard, boy. You know, especially
And they
my
gotta
guys out
compete.
here. They got to compete, and I think that's why they choose. Like I don't know if you follow Travel Noir, but they have these group trips to Italy. You know,
Mm,
and I still don't see a lot of romances coming out of Italy like that. Like even the Italian man has certain standards, man. All men around the world. I tell women this all the time. Yo, you're not going to be able to travel to anywhere in the world and not meet what men want. Men want certain types of women. It's no escape.
right,
You might get
right,
away with the little simp for a couple of months or a couple of years, but eventually he's gonna try to put his foot down.
right,
You know, a man, the natural of what we want from women is gonna always come out. Always, we want a woman that's gonna, cook, clean, look nice, take care of us, be submissive, follow our program. Most men are gonna want this. Period.
right,
And that's the reason a
right.
lot of relationships in America just don't work out because the roles have been confused. I think one of the major things, I will say this though, Rob, one of the major things out here that helps the relationship is the fact that, we do make US dollars, and for the most part, most of us can cover most of us can cover the women's monthly salary they make at the job. Am I right? Like the average Colombian might make $300 a month, $400 a month. The average Brazilian, I think it's the same, $300-400 a month. Most of us can cover that. You see what I'm saying? Like, say if we gave our wives an allowance to do whatever she want to do, $500 a month. That's a lot of money overseas.
Yeah,
And plus, she don't have to work. She just take care of the home. A lot of women are going to take that deal.
yeah,
Bust my ass. And then they do 12-hour shifts, man. In Colombia, they work 6 days out the week. So when you're in a relationship with a girl and she's working 10-hour days, 6 days out of the week, Monday through Saturday, and you be like, baby, how much money you make a month? And she's like $350. And I was like, oh no, we can nah, let's make an arrangement.
yeah.
And it's difficult to do that in America, man. It's kind of difficult to do that in America for the most part.
It is, man. A
Now,
lot of
real
oh, go
quick,
ahead, go ahead.
some would consider that tricking? Would you consider that tricking? Putting your girl on an allowance?
Oh, I mean, I can't. All right, for me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna be sending money like that unless that's my wife. That's just me. You know what I
I mean,
mean?
I'm not talking. I'm talking about living there. Y'all living together. Like I'm talking about living there, not sending money.
Oh, sending okay, living there, and I'm giving of allowance, and we living together.
Yeah, you living together. She taking care of the home. She was making $400 a month in whatever job she had, and you say, baby, I take care of that. I give you an allowance of $400-500 a month. You just take care of home, do whatever you want with the $400-500.
Yeah, if I got it like that, why not? You know,
Mm-hmm.
why not? I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, that's nothing because we don't we would do that in the U.S. We could spend $200 or $300 on a date.
Oh,
So it
all
ain't
day
like
long.
we ain't got the money to do it. You know,
Right.
some women just like in the U.S. They just like I don't want to. They just like forget the date, give me the money.
Oh yeah. That's true.
You
That's
know what I
true.
mean?
But that makes a big difference, man. Like the money part, yeah, it's definitely some truth to that. Like the fact that you have more time, you have more time to spend together. And I'm gonna say this, man. I was taught that love is a verb, bro. I think what happens in these relationships when you see men getting divorced of means, they got wealth and everything, and they get the maids and they get the the cooks for their wives only going shopping. Man, love is a verb. I was taught this by the old school people. Like, nah, you need your woman to be constantly doing for you, man. Love, she still gotta be there for you. She gotta cook, she gotta clean. That makes them, what I'm saying, keep not to say keep them busy, but when a woman's constantly doing for you, she falls in love even deeper. When you remove her roles of taking care of you, you taking it easy on her, which should make the relationship better. But that's just not how it works. I don't know why it works like that. But your woman got to constantly be, what I'm saying, doing stuff for you, man. You doing stuff for her. And that's how
Right.
you keep it gelled up. I think that's a big problem with a lot of relationships. It's just like, okay, I'm gonna work, you gonna work, and we really don't do nothing together. You just become roommates in America, basically. And you
Exactly.
see a lot of times if that man loses his job, he's out of there. He's out of there.
Yeah. A lot of people broke up during COVID because they was around each other for the first time. They wasn't
Mm-hmm.
used to being around each other and they didn't know each other. So it was just like, and then women didn't have space to cheat because of quarantines. So
Oh man, yeah.
it was just frustration on top of frustration, man. You know.
Yeah, man, it really was. I think I read some article. I should have posted it in the group of like the top professions of men that get cheated on. I think, and it was
Mm,
like truck drivers like number one, police officer was number two. It was just guys who have long jobs, but truck driving is definitely there because they have the
oh yeah.
opportunity. You over the road 3-4 weeks at a time, bro. You
Yeah,
know.
I know a chick, her husband a truck driver, and she on IG thotting it up all the time. I'm like, ain't you
Yeah.
married?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. You know what? It's them married women are a trip, bro. Married women are something else in America. Shout out to Andre Baker for the $20 super chat. He says, great live stream. Life is better for black men outside the matrix every day of the week. Keep the great info coming. Shout out to Andrew Baker. Appreciate that, my bro. Nothing but facts, true facts being spoken, man. So yeah, guys, we about to go ahead and sum up the show. This is a great show. We got 238 in the chat, man. That is what's up, bro.
Yes,
Any
sir.
closing
Yes, sir.
statements?
Oh yeah, man. I wanted to bring this up too, man. Like shout out to like again once again shout out to us travel bros, passport bros, man. One thing that a lot of people don't know why we're able to do the things we do and be expats and travelers for longer than 45 days
Mm-hmm.
is because traveling has made us into a lot of us into entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Without being in certain groups and being around men, like-minded men, like, there's men that inspire me to buy property in the US because he like, if you want to live out the country, you need to have a property in the US, a rental property, something you can make residual income. A couple of bros, we in this Turo group, which is like Airbnb but for cars. And I see the homie
Mm.
Cardell, he's in that group and a couple other bros from
And
from
Cardell
our
got so many
Facebook groups
hustles.
in that group. But it's people making 50 to $100,000 a year on Turo. You know what I mean? So I see
Mm.
guys doing the cryptocurrency thing. I see
Shout out to
so
crypto.
many black men are doing a lot of entrepreneurial things that they probably wouldn't be doing if they didn't start traveling. So you know what I
Mm.
mean? When we want to get something, we figuring out how to get there. We want to live out the country. We know we gotta stack. We know we gotta make investments. So you know what I mean? So that's something that a lot of people don't know. So that's pretty much I want to close out too, man. And I do want to say this real quick. Before the year ends, I'm at 850 subscribers on my page. I'm trying to get to 1,000. You know what I mean? I've been working hard and Facebook, WhatsApp, other groups, you know what I mean? And I finally got onto YouTube. kind of last. But you know what I mean, I put a lot out there. You know what I mean, if y'all can help me get to 1,000, man, you know, I definitely want to end the year out like that. So I just wanted to put that in there.
All day long, man. Straight facts, man. Well traveled, man. You have really good information. You got a dope YouTube channel. Guys, make sure you sub to my man, No Excuse. The link is he's tagged in the actual title, and I'll put his link in the description as well. Got a quick question for you from Suave Prince before we go. He says, but how do you get the money to buy property?
I don't know if you're referring to overseas or in the U.S. Obviously, in the U.S., you know what I mean, you could get a loan. Um, you don't mind me doing a rundown real quick, right?
Yeah, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
I want to give some games. So um, I'm gonna start with the U.S. first. So if you want to buy property in the U.S., a lot of the rules has changed since COVID, credit requirements, but obviously you have. I went through a program called NACA, NACA.com. Best program out there. No down payment. You just gotta have a job, and you know what I mean. And then they'll tell you what you need to work on if it's something on your credit. But NACA is probably the best program, especially somebody like me that had a lot of student loan debt. It was hard to get conventional loans because with conventional loans, they look at debt to income. And no, for FHA, you have to look at debt to income. So FHA is kind of harder for a lot of people with student loan debt to get. But you got FHA, which is cool if you don't got no student loans. Then you got NACA, which is probably the best, and then you got conventional loan, which you probably need like a $700 credit score. And you could basically get a lender through one of those three type of loans to get a home. And buying property in the U.S. is crazy right now with the prices and things like that. So buying a home out the country, buying something out the country, right? Which you want to pay in full. You don't want to pay any installments and things like that. For a lot of reasons I put on my channel about buying property overseas, but you want to be able to buy in full. So whether it's something 25,000, 50,000, or even 100,000, you want to be able to pay in full. One of the ways that you can do it, if you own property, you could put equity out your property. You know what I mean? So, you might have 100,000 of equity in your home. You could pull out 50 and buy your home overseas. Another thing, I mean, obviously, other things you could do is you just could save money. You know, lending money, international lenders, the interest rates usually be too high. 10% or more. So you may not want to go that route. But typically, pulling equity out your home and saving, what I mean, I don't know how long. I don't know a disciplined strategy to save $25,000 to $50,000 over a course of 3 to 5 years, but it can be done. So and then like I
Especially
said,
now.
it's a lot of hustles out there too, man, to get the money.
Man, we gotta do a whole stream on that because you made some very, very valid points, bro. Very valid points. I be seeing cats, kind of somewhat go through it, especially when it comes to buying properties overseas. But yeah, most definitely. Shout out to man tomorrow for the $5 super chat. He says, I'll bring you on for an interview. So I guess that's to you, Rob. He'll bring you on to an interview. That gets your subscriber base up as well, man. But once again, very good show, man. Very good show. We're gonna definitely do some more shows later on this week. Shout out to Rob, No Excuse Entertainment, brother. I really appreciate you coming on. Till next time, brother. Peace.